Good afternoon, and welcome to the DCTV News at Noon program.
The Southwest TV Translators Association underwrites the news, and Dolores County Broadcasting Network provides the support for DCTV.
The News at Noon program assembles the best and most interesting news from the area, offers intriguing content for its viewers, and provides local weather for the Four Corners region. What do you think? Give us a call with news tips or topics you'd like to see covered. The number is 677-4119.
I'm Kendra Cook, and my co-hosts here are Kelsey Kiesling and Jerry Tope, who will bring you all the weather details for the week. Now, here's what's happening for June 28th, 2016. According to the Durango Herald, 3 men were rescued Monday evening after they became stuck in Cascade Creek earlier in the afternoon. The 2 waterfall jumpers had to cling to rocks in Cascade Creek north of Purgatory Resort on Monday afternoon while awaiting rescue. The men entered the canyon and soon realized that the water was flowing high and fast, making it dangerous to jump down the series of waterfalls. Butch Knowlton, director of the La Plata County Office of Emergency Management, on Monday night said, "I know they got them out with no injuries. I just don't know any other details. The guys came down late and they said everything went smooth." Knowlton was not at the scene, but he said he got word of the rescue later in the day at a meeting. Emergency responders headed out to rescue the men stuck in Cascade Creek. They were stuck about a quarter of a mile from U.S. Highway 550 near Cascade Village, said Zach Fleming, who was hiking and saw the men. They were just walking down the creek to jump the waterfalls, he said. Wet rocks during high water flow can be very dangerous. Crews with La Plata County Search and Rescue, Durango Fire Protection District, and San Juan County Search and Rescue were all involved. 2 men were on one side of the creek and 1 was on the opposite side. The series of waterfalls are popular jumping spots when water levels are lower. There were no reports of serious injuries.
The Durango Herald reported that high speed appears to have played a role in a motorcycle crash that killed a Durango man Sunday evening on Coalbank Pass, the Colorado State Patrol said. John Demarest, 60, was northbound on U.S. Highway 550 going downhill from the summit of Coalbank Pass toward Mullis Pass when his brakes locked up and threw him from the bike, said Corporal Blake Hansey with the Colorado State Patrol. Demarest, who was not wearing a helmet, suffered multiple injuries, including a serious head injury, Hansey said. He was traveling with his son, Lance Demarest, who was in front of him at the time of the crash. Efforts to reach Lance Demarest for comment Monday evening were unsuccessful. John Demarest died en route to Mercy Regional Medical Center, Hansey said. First responders called 3 medical helicopters, but none were able to respond. That was a result of 3 factors. John Demarest was a large man, the location was high in elevation, and the temperature was too hot, which affects lift of the chopper.
Reported in the Durango Herald, the only residential treatment center for drugs and alcohol within hundreds of miles may open near Golgaline Gulch Road in a former hostel. Dr. Dan Kaplan, who is behind the project, said remodeling on the proposed Durango Recovery Center started Monday, and when complete, it could serve 20 people. The Durango Planning Commission voted unanimously Monday to recommend approval of new zoning, which is an early step in the process. The Durango City Council will make the final decision to change the zoning of the property from planned development to medium-density residential, which allows for institutional housing. Once the rezoning is complete, the Durango Planning Commission will have a vote on a conditional use permit to allow the center to open, according to Nicole Killian, Assistant Community Development Director. However, she believes it is a good location because it is fairly isolated. Aside from one house to the north, it is surrounded by open space. If approved, the center could serve many recovering heroin addicts, but it could be open to those recovering from methamphetamine, alcohol, and other addictions as well, said Kaplan, who runs Southern Rockies Addiction Treatment Services. The Recovery Center would allow patients to stay for about 2 months. After their stays, Kaplan would like them to move into transitional housing. He expects this long-term care, incorporating counseling, medication, and positive experiences, such as horseback riding, will be more successful than more short-term models. Initially, Kaplan expects to open 14 beds. Later, 6 beds are planned to be added, and they would be dedicated to patients in need of medical detox. Once their detox was complete, they would stay in the center for part of their recovery.
According to the Durango Herald, the cyclist hit by an SUV on Sunday, identified as Durango resident Neil Hannum, was transferred to St. Anthony's Hospital in Lakewood and is in critical condition, officials said Monday. Hannum, 52, was hit about noon by a 2015 Mitsubishi Outlander while riding his bike on U.S. Highway 550 near Trimble Lane. The driver of the vehicle was a 16-year-old Kylie Koyomjian, also of Durango. According to Colorado State Patrol Sergeant Rob Madden, Hannum was traveling south in the left turn lane of U.S. Highway 550. The SUV was in the southbound center lane. Hannum moved right from the left turn lane into the center lane, and the front of the Outlander collided with his bicycle. Madden said no citations had been issued as of 11:30 a.m. Monday. According to a spokeswoman at St. Anthony's, Hannum was in critical condition in the intensive care unit on Monday. Hannum is a longtime resident of Durango and an active member of the community. He owns The Chip Peddler, a local tortilla chip manufacturing company.
From the Cortez Journal report, the Montezuma Countywide Path to Mesa Verde Trail project took a step forward last week as the Montezuma County Commission authorized negotiations between the county and consulting firm Loris and Associates. The firm will handle initial design plans for the project, which seeks to connect a multi-use trail from Cortez to Mancos, passing by Mesa Verde National Park. Colorado Governor John Hickenlooper named the project one of his 16 most important trail projects in the state. Since taxpayers already have invested in the project, County Public Lands Coordinator James Dietrich said the goal is to have one section of the trail finished as soon as possible. Local officials will work on narrowing the scope of work with the firm. Consultants then will work on identifying a viable route for the trail, working with government agencies and private landowners to find possible right-of-ways. Much of the land between Cortez and Mancos is owned by federal entities, but the trail might cross private land. After a route is identified, officials will work to put out construction documents and obtain estimates for the project. Officials aim to have one section of the trail constructed and usable in 2018. Shane Hale, Cortez City Manager, repeated that the three main sections of the trail are from Cortez to the Montezuma County Fairgrounds, from the Fairgrounds to the Mesa Verde Visitor and Research Center, and from the Visitor Center to Mancos. Officials are looking at the big picture for the project, which will be viewed as a county-wide asset. The next steps will be to hold meetings for public input, Dietrich said. Though he said there's a lot of community support for the trail, he hopes for more public participation going forward.
According to the Durango Herald, a 4-year-old girl is the sole survivor of a crash between a minivan and an Amtrak train that killed her parents and 3 sisters in southern Colorado. The girl was hospitalized with serious injuries after the Southwest Chief train headed from Chicago to Los Angeles hit the van as it drove across the tracks Sunday at a railroad crossing with a history of problems near Trinidad, about 15 miles from the New Mexico border. Hospital officials would not release information on her condition on Monday. Trooper Art Gumke with the Colorado State Patrol said the girl's father, 32-year-old Stephen Miller, who was driving the 2005 Chrysler Town & Country, and his wife, Christine Miller, 33, of Trinidad, were killed along with their 3 other daughters, aged 6, 2, and 8 months. The Millers were on their way to church at the time, a fundraising webpage said. The crossing is marked with only unlit signs, but a proposal to add flashing lights and gates has been in the works since late 2013, a plan first reported by the Denver Post. Los Animas County commissioners approved a joint application for the work with the state just two weeks ago, but the proposal still has to be approved by the State Public Utilities Commission before work can start, County Administrator Leanne Fabick said. The work is expected to cost about $230,000, Colorado Department of Transportation spokeswoman Amy Ford said. The crossing was identified for improvements as part of ongoing works with counties and railroads to fix problem crossings, she said. There have been 6 other accidents between vehicles and trains at the same crossing in the last 30 years, including 1 other fatal crash in 2010, according to Federal Railroad Administration records. And now here's our weather report.
There is a red flag warning for today, running from 2 p.m. until 8 p.m. Today, the high pressure system that's been here so long will slowly begin to slide away to the east. As it does so, its western parts will allow for an influx of moisture into our area, moving in from the south and stretching northwards as we get into the second half of this work week. The weather powers that be are saying that monsoon moisture over Arizona and New Mexico will be moving into our area beginning this afternoon. Our Four Corners region will see increased shower and thunderstorm activity over the La Salles, Abajos, and San Juans. There will also be some activity over the northern and central mountains as well. The first cloud cover we will see here will be the lightest in moisture content and high, and are forecast to produce outflow wind gusts of 35 to 40 miles per hour. These drier clouds and winds and dry lightning are the reasons for the red flag warning this afternoon for Area 207, which includes basically the southwest corner of Colorado, Slick Rock, Disappointment Valley, Dove Creek, and southwest Dolores County, and all of Montezuma and La Plata County. That will change as evening approaches, and the clouds will be lowering, and some storms will produce heavy rains in some of the higher terrain, and some of that may drift over adjacent valleys. Today there is an inverted trough over Las Vegas, and it will arrive here tomorrow at the hottest part of the day, and numerous showers and thunderstorms will result. However, we are not forecast to see amounts for Dove Creek above 1/10 of an inch or less each day. Areas to the north of all this activity will still be hot and dry. We're still expecting days to be about 10 degrees cooler here, and nighttime temps to be much the same as they have been. Humidity has been climbing and will continue into Friday, and our evaporative coolers will be a lot less effective as the week wears on. In our national weather, two cold fronts will move across the eastern third of the U.S. today, so there will be showers and thunderstorms from the northeast to the Gulf Coast. Some across the northeastern U.S. may be severe. The Storm Prediction Center has given portions of that region a slight risk of severe thunderstorms. Heavy rainfall amounts of 1 to 2 inches are possible, particularly across interior New England. Locally, heavy rainfall will also be possible across the southeast and Gulf Coast states. The cold front will begin to move offshore tonight, bringing an end to rain and storms across the mid-Atlantic, but a low developing pressure will cause showers and thunderstorms to persist across eastern New England into tomorrow. Scattered thunderstorms will also continue on Wednesday across the coastal southeast and Gulf Coast. The same front extends west into the plains and will persist through the next couple of days. Scattered showers and thunderstorms are forecast today across the central and northern high plains. Some of these thunderstorms may be severe, at a slight risk of severe thunderstorms through tonight. Heavy rainfall amounts of 1 to 2 inches are possible again there. The front will remain across the same areas on Wednesday. By Thursday morning, another cold front will move into the northern plains and upper Midwest from Canada, increasing chances of showers and thunderstorms for the upper Midwest and upper Great Lakes. Our 5-day forecast, really no changes from yesterday. Highs will be in the mid and upper 80s and lows in the mid 50s with plenty of clouds, gusts today, and dry lightning with the red flag warning, then getting more humid as the week progresses. Now back to the news.
According to the Durango Herald, a Durango man convicted of robbing someone at knife point found himself on the other end of the blade last weekend in Ignacio. Maurice Anderson, 31, is credited with tackling a man who allegedly punched a 15-year-old girl in the face during a family dispute, according to an arrest affidavit filed in 6th Judicial District Court. The incident occurred about 4:30 p.m. Saturday on Romero Avenue in Ignacio. James Phillips, 46, was arguing with his ex-wife, Rachel Phillips, when a girl tried to intervene. James Phillips turned around and punched the girl in the face with a closed fist, according to statements the girl and Rachel Phillips made to police. The girl had a red mark and swelling under her left eye, according to the police report. Anderson immediately tackled Phillips and they began fighting. Phillips pulled out a utility knife and he cut Anderson's hand. "It's been a crazy year," Anderson said. "People think I'm this evil person when it's not even like that." Phillips was arrested on suspicion of felony assault. He made an initial appearance Monday in La Plata County Court. Anderson, a former Fort Lewis College football player, has been arrested twice since 2015, first in an armed robbery at an ATM at the Bank of the San Juans in Durango, and most recently on suspicion of using a fake identification to purchase a car and sell it to another man. He pleaded guilty June 2nd to robbery and faces up to 90 days in jail or 2 to 5 years in community corrections for the ATM holdup, even though he said Monday he didn't commit the ATM robbery. He said he pleaded guilty only because the deal also takes care of the identity theft case, which he said he did commit. Sentencing is set for August 11th. Rachel Phillips said Anderson sprung into action when the situation turned violent. He de-escalated the situation and didn't use excessive force, she said. It was really valiant the way he handled the whole thing, she said. He truly is a kind person. My family thinks he's a hero because he protected us that day and didn't hurt my ex-husband, which he could have. It was really a beautiful thing to see. Anderson required several stitches and needs to visit an orthopedic surgeon.
As reported in the Journal, the 2016 Montezuma County Fair, coming up next month from July 29th to August 6th, is bringing in new events and encouraging more participation from the general public. Organizer Shelley Thorkelson said, "We're looking for a better turnout and want the community to know about all the open class events and clinics available to them. The fair is themed Pioneer Jubilee and will include events and music geared to the elderly population to honor their contribution to the community. Although the fair traditionally focuses on 4-H agricultural events for youths, organizers emphasize that it is also catering to the general public, gardeners, foodies, artists, hobbyists, and new residents. You don't need an animal or be in a 4-H to participate. There is a large variety of educational booths and friendly open class contests to show off your talents, learn from others, and meet new people," Thorkelson said. The Montezuma County Music Festival makes its debut on August 5th. Several local bands will perform in the 2,000-seat outdoor arena, which has a new roof. Each band will play for 30 minutes, culminating with the headliner, the High Rollers, a Durango-based country band. Also new is the Fair Royalty Contest and Crowning, which takes place before the concert. There are several categories for fair royalties aged 5 to 18. Also new this year is a free walk-in movie night on August 4th. Planner Leanne Milligan is in charge of that. Organizers plan to attract more of the elderly to come out to the fair and enjoy the festivities and atmosphere. There will be a special jamboree music performance for the elderly and activities for them. Transportation will be provided from homes and long-term care facilities. A tractor show and pull is also new. It's put on by the Monticello Tractor Club, and locals are encouraged to enter. The motorcycle show returns with multiple categories. For more information on that, call 970-394-0272. In addition to the 4-H animal events and contests, events include, and I need to take a deep breath for this, the Ranch Rodeo, lawnmower races, dog show, fine art show, Colt Start Challenge, fruit carving demonstration, three-legged barrel races, water balloon fight, corn shucking, chicken chasing, chili and salsa contest, grease pig race, jalapeno eating contest, arm wrestling, mud volleyball, and jamboree. Dwayne Bradshaw is leading the Demolition Derby events. He said this year they are adding a 3/4-ton truck class to the car and truck derby. Side-by-side UTV races return again also. Because of a scheduling conflict, the usual carnival will not take place at this year's fair, organizers said. For more information about events and activities, contact Kathy Marler at 970-749-7936, and a schedule is available online at montezumacounty.org.
According to the Durango Herald, as abortion supporters on Monday celebrated a U.S. Supreme Court ruling protecting access, fears swirled that a state ballot effort to implement a single-payer healthcare system could throw rights into jeopardy in Colorado. The Supreme Court ruled 5-3, striking down parts of a restrictive Texas law that could have reduced the number of abortion clinics in the state. The High Court decision essentially prohibits most abortion restrictions across the country. But Colorado may have a unique problem, according to abortion supporters. Amendment 69 asks voters this November to eliminate private insurance for a 10% premium tax so that the state can cover health expenses. Under the initiative, employers would share employees' costs by paying 6.67% of the 10% income tax, leaving employees with a 3.33% responsibility. After seeking a waiver under the Affordable Care Act, federal dollars also would be made available. Abortion supporters worry that if voters back the initiative, they would unintentionally outlaw abortion in many instances thanks to a 1984 voter-approved state constitutional amendment that prohibits public funding of abortions in Colorado. The opinion goes on to state that if there is a conflict between two state laws, then the most recent law would take precedent, thereby authorizing abortion funding under Amendment 69 and effectively repealing the 1984 law.
If you're going to a celebration for Independence Day and want to bring something that is red, white, and blue, and the old standby of a sheet cake with white frosting decorated with strawberries for the red stripes, blueberries for the stars, and that just isn't your thing, here are a couple of ideas. There are plenty more on the net. Let's fill your party dish with the pride of the red, white, and blue. Appetizer? Try nachos. Yes, though it is a dish that mostly originates south of the border, the influence has streamed over the country in the past 40 years or so. You'll find nachos on menus across the land. How to kick them into a July 4th mode? Start with blue corn tortilla chips, cover them with a white cheese, perhaps a mix of mozzarella and white cheddar, dice up some white onion, red bell peppers, and diced red tomatoes, layer them and roast under a broiler for best results. Already sounds like a fiesta. Next, try a kicked-up coleslaw by grating green cabbage that's practically white with some purple cabbage looking blue, and instead of carrots, add strips of sweet red bell peppers. Dress and serve with all of your barbecue meats. In the same side dish category, try mixing up your potato salad using half white taters and half blue or purple potatoes. Mix with your favorite mayo-based dressing and add in pepperonis for a salty flair. The real challenge for most of these dishes is what to add for the blue color. So if you are true blue, you'll want to just stick to blueberries. After all, it's in the name. And with that, whipped cream, strawberries, and blueberries layered in a parfait glass is simple, elegant, light, and all red, white, and blue dessert. Just remember to keep all your food at safe temperatures throughout your celebration to keep everyone happy on the 4th and the day after.
And now the Dolores County Sheriff's Roundup for the week of June 20th through the 26th. A deputy arrested a male resident of Ucolo, Utah, on charges of failure to appear out of Montezuma County. A deputy turned around two port runners out of Monticello, Utah, port of entry. A deputy responded to a report of careless driving. A complaint was made of an offensive handmade sign posted in town. A report was made of a dog loose in town. The owner was located. That's it for today's roundup. Stay tuned this week for more updates.
In today's high country happenings, it's Pick and Hoe time. July 1st is the kickoff to the Pick and Hoe celebration, starting with Alex's 5K color race. The Tabers and Gretches are now in complete charge of this event, and it will be the third annual affair. It starts at 6 p.m. from Weber Park. The beer tent for adults opens at 5 p.m. for the duration of the weekend, run by the Volunteer Fire Department, and music by Martine will be mixing up the tunes at the tennis courts about 8:30. July 2nd, there is all-day, all-night quick-draw softball. Sign-up starts at 8:30, and then games will begin. The new chairmans are Nolan and Jamie Randolph. Then new on Saturday night, the 2nd, the musical group Simone Sanchez and the Machine will play at the Dove Creek Tennis Courts starting at 8:30. Sunday, July 3rd, after the volleyball and horseshoes, is one of the favorites, which is the Washers Tournament. Sign-ups start at 5 p.m. and the tournament will be around 6. Chairmans Robin Laws and Eric Laws will be on site. After the tournament, we will be presenting Charlie Jenkins at the tennis courts starting at 9 p.m. His country music is a favorite, returning again this year. For the July 4th holiday on Monday, the parade begins at 9 a.m. with Bruce Rydell chairing. This comes down Main Street to the highway and then back up 8th for the opening ceremonies, which start at 10 at Weber Park. Have some coffee and watch and cheer the floats as they drive by. Kids' games are chaired by Katie Gardner. She has gathered a great crew to help her. There's egg toss, three-legged race, grease pole climb, and of course the pig chase. New this year is the world's largest bubble tower. It will be up and running the entire day of the 4th. They bring stilts for the kids to play with as well. There will be a face painter set up for 4 hours, and all of this is going to be free and a lot of fun. For the adults, some of the same events are run, just for the kids in All of Us. Additionally, there is the afternoon drilling competition with the annual large rock being raffled off off after the event. I believe it's a silent auction type of deal. Eric Stuckey plays bluegrass at the football field stage starting at 5:30. The Boy Scouts present the flag, and then at 7, John Moore Bluegrass Etc. plays more bluegrass into the evening on stage. Bring a blanket or chairs. The evening is topped off by a wonderful fireworks display at dark 30. Check out all of the details online at picknhoe.com or on their Facebook page. All of the Happenings segment is posted on our DCTV News at Noon Facebook page, along with the embedded YouTube replays and the exclusive DCTV 5-day forecast graphic. If you have an event, you can email us at dcbnnews@gmail.com or call the station at 677-4119 and we'll be sure to get it on air.
Thanks for tuning in. This program is aired live at noon Monday through Wednesday and rebroadcast at 2:30 and 8 p.m. on Channel 32.1 Dolores County, on Channel 30.4 in Montezuma County, and their cable Channel 5.
Share this with a friend and watch the broadcast replayed on YouTube and now featured on our Facebook page. Please like us there and spread the word.
For Kendra Cook, Jerry Tope, and all those who are working to bring you DCTV and the News at Noon program from Dove Creek, USA, I'm Kelsey Kiesling. See you next time.